Hey, what's up? This is Brian Pfeiffer, the owner of VegasVIPServices.com. If you're coming to Las Vegas and looking for bottle service at Encore Beach Club, then you found the right video. I'm Brian Pfeiffer. I book 75 to 100 groups every single weekend out here in Las Vegas. I'm a licensed independent host out here, and I'm happy to help you guys out with bottle service at Encore Beach Club. I'm going to go over all the table sections, how to get into this place, and all the ins and outs of what's going on here in 2026. So let's go in and check this place out. All right, let's talk about Encore Beach in 2026. Now, last year was 2025, and this place was arguably the best place on Fridays to go out of all the pools, okay? And Saturdays were always pretty much a slam dunk. They have big talent. And then Sundays were kind of hit or miss. They tried to do this kind of like later afternoon Sunday party, which was, starting around 2 in the afternoon, and they tried to do kind of like the after party for the other pools. And it wasn't that big of a hit. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle this season. They did add some talent to this season, so they're pretty excited about that. A couple big names that they added. They did add Cascade. He's going to be here a lot on Saturdays, maybe once in a while, maybe on a Friday, like a holiday type of weekend. They did add Calvin Harris. He's only going to be here on Saturdays occasionally. They do have all their normal big hitters, okay? They didn't lose anybody this year. And they do have like Diplo. He's a big hitter. They got Marshmallow today. Of course, the Chainsmokers. You guys are very familiar with them. They're here for many, many years now, and they're kind of a staple for the Win and Encore group. We're going to have to see. There's, obviously some new things happening. The Omnia Day Club is going to open up EDC weekend. That's a massive pool, okay? So they're going to give this place some heavy competition, especially probably on Fridays and Sundays. So they're going to have to put big DJs here on Saturdays, of course. They're going to be fine on those days. Fridays and Sundays, we're going to have to be determined, okay? If they put talent here on Friday or Sunday, it'll probably be okay. If they don't, it's probably going to be pretty tough. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you hit me up. My number is 702-883-3006. I'm going to know what's good and what's not good. I'm here every weekend. I'm here almost every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at all the pools. I'm pretty much walking around and taking care of my customers. So I'm here and I know what's going on. I can tell you what the best party is going to be for the day you want to do your pool party. Okay. Now getting into this place, they still got the really strict security here at the Wynn. A lot different than the Tao group these days. Tao group's pretty much more lenient, just care about like weapons and metal detector. Here they're going to search your pockets. They're going to go through all your stuff in your pockets. You're going to go through your wallet. They're going to open up your phone if you have like one of those phone cases. So anywhere that you would think you could probably stash some stuff, if you will, don't stash some stuff because they're going to find it here and you don't want to deal with that. They're going to kick you out. You're going to kick off the property. If you're staying at the Wynn, it gets uncomfortable. It's just an issue. You don't want to deal with it. There's no marijuana here either. You can't bring weed into any casino, pool, or nightclub. It's still considered illegal because this is federally licensed casinos, so that's still federally illegal. So no marijuana here. It's legal on the street here. You can buy it anywhere, but you can't bring it here. Okay, so don't bring your weed here. Now, they do have different ways to get in here besides the bottle services, which is where I come in, but they have the ticket line, which is going to move way quicker than the guest list line, okay? And then there's an expedited entry line, which is going to even move way quicker than that. That's like a separate entrance inside the casino. But the guest list is, you can already see it kind of behind me out here. It's already lining up, and it doesn't even open for another 40 minutes here. So that guest list line will be all the way down the way, and that's going to be like probably an hour wait at least. So you don't want to deal with that if you don't have to. Make sure you hit me up. I can maybe even arrange like a VIP entry type of thing. So let me know. I'm here to help. All right, so let's talk about the bottle service now that we've got the rundown. You guys will just have to stay tuned to the channel. I'll have to let you guys know what's good on, the best place on Fridays, best place on Sundays. I'm sure this place will be just fine on Fridays. So let's talk about the tables and the different sections you can get in here. We'll start with the biggest and the best. Those are going to be your lower bungalows. Okay, the lower bungalows are arguably some of the coolest tables here in all of Las Vegas. There's 4 of them. Okay, there's only 2 on each side, and then they have a shared pool that's a bigger like plunge pool, if you will. And those are the only basically sections of the whole place that have plunge pools, and they're high demand. Okay, so there's only 4 of them, and generally they'll go to like really high spenders, or they'll go to like casino guests that are like big ballers, if you will, high rollers type of thing. And they're hard to get, okay, especially on Saturdays, okay. So if you want one of those, like on a Saturday EDC weekend, I quoted one, and for Memorial Day weekend I had quoted one. Calvin Harris both days, $40K, okay. That's what they're going for, $50K online. I could do $40K. I can always do a little bit lower than what's online, but that's a lot of money. Okay, even my guys have a lot of money. They were just like, that's too much. So I get it, and it is what it is. We're gonna go somewhere else, and we'll just figure things out from there. Now, they do have bathrooms in those as well, which is arguably really cool. You get your own bathroom inside your bungalow, which is cool. The problem is as you share the pool, that's the only issue. But I do hear in 2027, they're going to be closing this place at the end of this year. They're going to do a full remodel. So I don't know if they're going to make those pools like individual or I'm pretty sure they're gonna add some sort of pools for the lower cabanas. So just an FYI, this is gonna be the last season you're gonna see Encore Beach the way it is basically since the beginning, okay? Now the next level past the lower bungalows, that's gonna be your lower cabanas, okay? Those are very good too. They just don't have their pools in front of them. They're pretty big. They don't have their own bathrooms, but there's a decent amount of room in there. You know, they're supposed to be for 12. You can easily go up to like 15. They do have a nice big day bed in front of them as well. And those are good. I do like those for a number of reasons. Number one, they're big, roomy. Number two, I always feel like there's a good vibe on those cabanas. Like I've had them so many times, and like I just love the vibe. It seems like everyone's partying in that area. There's plenty of girls up there, and everybody really has a good time. Okay, so I do like those lower cabanas. I definitely recommend those. Now we're gonna go upstairs from there. Now above the lower bungalows, there's upper bungalows. Okay, the big difference is they're exactly the same as far as the size of the cabana or bungalow, if you will, and they do have bathrooms, but they don't have that private pool in front of them. They just have a small little day bed, so they're not quite as desirable as the lower ones, obviously. All right, and then of course above the lower cabanas, there's upper cabanas. Now the difference between the upper and lower cabanas is obviously they're up one level, and the area between the railing and the cabana is a little bit smaller, so the day bed itself is a little bit smaller. They're kind of like a half day bed up there. Okay, so lower cabanas have like a full day bed. The upper cabanas have like a half day bed. All right. Now let's go over to the pool deck. Okay, there's going to be the DJ area, which is in the center, and then there's the tables behind the DJ. Those are going to be called like the indoor tables, stage tables, if you will. And those are pretty popular. Okay, one thing that's nice about those stage tables behind the DJ is they're air conditioned back there. That club, the old Surrender Club, has air conditioning, and that's very nice in the summer months when it's like 115 degrees. So a lot of people like those tables just because they're comfortable. They go out in the pool when they want, come back into the air conditioning when they want, and those are nice. Now in front of the DJ, there's going to be a row of tables on both sides called the dance floor tables, and those are basically on the dance floor. Dance floor is right in front of you. They are roped off, and you do have a little bit of room around your table, so you can have your own little dance floor. But then the dance floor itself, where all the normal people are, they're right there. Now you're going to get some of the CO2 spray kind of over your table at some points when they do that, but those are really in the action. Okay, those are pretty pricey, but they're good. You're right, looking directly at the DJ, and I've had those tables many times. All right, now in the water, right in front of the DJ, there's going to be what's called a dance floor water couch on each side. Okay, those used to be like the center lily pads, but they converted the two closest to the DJ into couches, which is a little bit better in my opinion because you can sit up and sit on the back end of it, which I don't like about the lily pads. You can't do that, but you can on the couches. So two dance floor water couches, and those look directly at the DJ. I've had those several times, and I like those as well. Customers really like those. And then across the pool, there's going to be your 4 water couches. Those are big, roomy areas. You're standing about knee deep in water, and I do like those tables a lot too. Those are some of my more favorite tables in all of Vegas, right in the action, right in the pool. Then moving back toward the gaming pavilion, there is a row of center L couches. Okay, the center L couches are basically right kind of behind the water couches. There's a walkway there, and those are good tables as well. They're just not in the water, a little bit further back than the water couch. Great view of the DJ, and I do like the center L couches. I book those probably the most often out of all the tables out here in Las Vegas. And then behind those, there's a row of gaming tables. Now, those are actually up a little bit in the gaming pavilion. Now, the gaming pavilion does have air conditioning in it, but the tables that are kind of toward the end, you don't really feel it that much. Now, if you walk into the gaming pavilion toward the bar, and by the casino, you kind of feel the air conditioning, okay? So that's all the center of the place, basically, center of the pool. And now if you go back into the pool, there's gonna be 3 lily pads to the right of the dance floor water couches. On the left and the right, those are gonna be considered your center lily pads. So they charge a premium for the lily pads that are in basically the middle pool. The way Encore is built is they have a pool in the middle, they have a pool on the right, pool on the left. The lily pads are in the center pool. Those are going to be your center lily pads. Those are going to be a little bit higher priced. Just closer to the DJ, still the same circle lily pad with an umbrella, and you're basically going to be hanging out in the pool the whole time. You can't order food in the pool, by the way, so if you have a water couch, a dance floor water couch, or a lily pad, center or regular, you cannot order food to your table. You have to actually go over to the grill and order it and eat it over there. You can't have food in the pool for obvious reasons. All right, and then to the right and the left of the center lily pads in the smaller pools, there is going to be regular lily pads. So they line the one end on both sides. And those are good too. Like today, I do have a regular lily pad, 1,000 minimum on a Saturday for Marshmallow. That's not a bad price, okay? So you can get those fairly reasonably priced on most days. It'll be a little bit more on like a Calvin Harris day or a Cascade day, but most of the time it's pretty reasonable to get a lily pad, have a spot in the pool to put your stuff, have a place to sit down when you want to, have a little bit of shade, and be in the pool, all right? Now, if we go into onto the pool deck, okay, pretty much all around the pool deck, there's tables, okay? On the right and the left end, and a couple satellite ones, if you will. There's going to be some day beds, okay? The bigger ones are on the right and the left on the north and the south end. There's going to be, I think, a row of 5 on each side, and those are big day beds. You can actually fit like 5 or 6 people on those day beds at once, and they're actually good for up to 10 people, but a lot of couples like to get those, or like 2 groups of couples. They want to lay down and have, get some sun or whatever. Those day beds are perfect for that. So we book those quite often for like couples and whatnot. So just let me know on those. I can request one on the north or south end. And there are a couple like circular day beds that are spread out throughout the deck, if you will. And they're just a little bit smaller, but they're a little bit closer to the action. So if you want one of those, we can make that happen as well. Now, next to the day beds, in between the center L couches and the day beds, there is a row on each side of 3 L couches, okay? Those are basically the same thing as the center L couches, but they're just a little bit more toward the north or the south end, and they're just considered the regular L couches. Those typically sell out pretty quick because they're pretty big, and there's a lot of room around those L couches, and they're cheaper than the center L couch, and they're a really good location. You still get a lot of traffic there, and you get a good view of the DJ. So those regular L couches are popular. We can definitely help you out with one of those, so let me know. Now, there's going to be beach couches on the pool deck as well. Now, there's beach couches on the north end, there's beach couches on the south end, there's a row of beach couches on the north end that's kind of under some shade, and then there's some more prime ones I would consider closer to the DJ area, to the right and the left on the north and south end. I think those are my favorite beach couches of all. Generally, in order to get one of the really prime ones, we have to tip, okay? So if you want to get one of the prime beach couches, just hit me up. I'll tell you which ones I think are the best, and we'll tip. We get one of those. I actually have a setup like that today. It's $1,000 minimum. We're doing like a $100 tip. I think actually a $200 tip to get one of the really prime ones closest to the DJ. And the guys, they're going to be really happy when they see the table. The beach couches do have umbrellas. The only caveat with umbrellas is if it's super windy, then they don't have umbrellas up. But that's rare. And most of the time the umbrellas will be up, especially in the heat of the summer. You're going to want an umbrella, that's for sure. Now, there's one other section that I did not mention. There's going to be the patio section. Okay, there used to be a restaurant called Andrea's Patio. So they used to call it Andrea's Patio. Now that place is called Casa de Playa, so they just call it the patio section now. And those tables are pretty good too. I actually like those tables, especially the front row tables there. There's a front row of patio tables that is actually covered part of the day because the sun does kind of move throughout the day, but most of the day you're covered. And you have a great view of the DJ there. You usually have to tip about $200 for the front row patio. Definitely worth it in my opinion. And then the regular patio tables are more toward the service bar back there. Now, there is a little advantage for the service bar back there in the patio tables, is that service bar area is air conditioned and the girls are constantly walking in and out of there, the busboys, and the air kind of like comes out into the patio area and cools that back corner about 10 or 15 degrees on a hot day. And that makes a pretty big difference. So if you're worried about the heat, the patio tables are covered. And the ones in the back toward the service bar, there's air conditioning back there, sort of. Okay, it's about 10, 12 degrees colder than it is outside, which is actually very pleasant on a 115-degree day. So just keep that in mind. If heat's an issue, you might want to consider the gaming tables or might want to consider the patio tables that are covered, and you get a little bit of air conditioning, okay? Even though you're outside, it's a little bit cooler, which is kind of nice. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed my full rundown here of the Encore Beach Club and all the different bottle service options. Make sure you text me at 702-883-3006. And if you do like this video, do subscribe to this channel for more and bang the notifications bell. Now, we do include this place a lot of times with brunches. Okay, we have an all-you-can-drink and eat brunch. If you guys are interested in doing the pool party, then something after, like an Atomic or Top Golf, we have all these really cool packages. Make sure you check out the link below and download the Party Plan app. That's going to be coming out in April. Hopefully, maybe May. We'll see. It's been a little bit delayed. It's a big project. But the app can help you plan out your whole group travel, if you will, and you can put together your whole itinerary. You can keep track of all your expenses. You can talk. You can have your chats with your whole group. And everything's like connected and notified. It's a really cool tool, so make sure you guys use that and help plan your big trip. And I'm looking forward to working with you out here at Encore Beach Club out in Las Vegas. Let's talk soon.